If conversations die and you immediately think, it's me, this video is for you. There's nothing worse than when you want to make a good impression on someone and you just feel like the conversation is lagging and you keep hitting dead ends. I totally know how that feels, and it's the worst. And you start to feel like you're the problem and you're awkward, and that's not the case. Sometimes you just don't have the tools that you need. And there's some very, very basic tools that you can have in your toolbox to help you when those situations arise. So that way you don't feel awkward and you don't feel stuck. I don't know about you guys, but I have experienced this with different people. And it's like, how come with some people you feel like you can sit and just talk and never run out of things to say? And then with a different person, it is like you are hitting a wall. You literally don't know what else to say to them after talking to them for 10 seconds. And I've often wondered, what is the difference? How come some people you can talk to for hours and you just love talking to them and you feel like you have this unlimited fountain of topics and things to talk about and you're so entertained and having the time of your life. And then with the next person, it is seriously like pulling teeth just getting them to talk. And, or you literally are just like 5 seconds in, like, that's it. Like, I don't know what else to say. Well, I'm going to teach you a few tricks and a few things that I've learned on just how to keep a conversation going when you are hitting that dead end and you're hitting that wall. These are things that anybody can do. You don't need to be special. You don't need to be outgoing. You don't need to be super social. Anybody can do these and keep your conversations going and come off as a very confident, social person. So, first things first, take the pressure off of yourself. It is not your job to entertain people, and it's not your job to carry the entire load of the conversation. If a conversation is lagging, don't feel like you're the problem and you're awkward. I guarantee you that that person is feeling the same thing about themselves. So just know they're not thinking, "Oh my gosh, like this girl is the worst. She's so awkward. I hate being around her." Like, get out of your own head and just know they're not thinking that about you. They are probably stressing, thinking, "Oh man, I'm so awkward. I don't know what to say." So, calm down and take the pressure off. Just get it in your head and know that connection happens when you are relaxed, not when you're performing. If you are performing, trying to impress everybody, you can't really connect with people. So just get it in your head that you need to relax and you need to connect and quit trying to perform and impress people. That is a social turnoff when people know you're trying to impress them. Okay, phase two, stay curious instead of interesting. So this goes hand in hand with my first point. Don't try to be so interesting that you forget to be curious about them. One of the most popular books of all time is called How to Win Friends and Influence People. You've probably heard of it. If you don't, you really need to check it out. It will change your life. And basically, I can save you time. You don't need to read the book. I will just tell you, basically the entire book is about how to get other people talking about themselves. People love to talk about themselves and feel like they are being heard, and they love when people love to feel like someone is interested in them. So ask them questions and be curious. When they say something about work, ask them a follow-up question. Don't just shut it down and turn it back on to yourself. So ask them questions and be curious. Be genuinely curious. People can tell a difference when you are trying to come off as genuine versus being genuine. So take a genuine interest in people and ask them and listen to them, and don't just think about your next thing that you're going to say, but really sit there and be genuinely interested in who they are as a person and what they're saying. And if you can do that, oh my goodness, people will flock to you. People will love you because you are a good listener and you're being so genuine. Okay, the third step. This might be the most important step, okay? Use the expand, don't switch rule. So, what does that mean? Okay, so think about being on a tree. Don't just jump trees yet, jump branches. So, if someone is talking about how stressful work has been lately, don't just change the subject. Ask a follow up and say, oh, what's been the most stressful part? Or, oh, how are you dealing with that? If somebody is telling you about the marathon that they're training for, ask them deeper questions about it. Ask them what their training program looks like, or um, what's been the hardest part so far, or how did they get into it, and just keep it going. Like, there are so many things you can ask about one topic and just kind of dig in. That's how a real conversation gets going instead of just jumping topics. Once you hit a dead end with that topic, then totally switch. You can say something that you've been going through lately and do the same thing with that one. So, that really is such a great tip. Like, that saves so much of like the choppy, awkward, like jumping around topics, and it adds a lot of flow, because then you can also, as they answer, you can say, "Oh my gosh, like I can see how that would be so hard," and then share like a personal story, and then just keep that banter going. That's how conversations get started. Okay, step number 4 is to share pieces of yourself as well. I kind of touched on this in the last point, but it's kind of like a volleyball game. Like, it can't be one-sided. You got to keep passing back and forth. And so, um, when they share something interesting and you have a thought or you have an experience, share that and then pass it back to them. You don't want to just hijack the whole conversation, but when it's one-sided, that's also not very interesting for you or for them. So, share something and then boom, pass it back and keep the rally going. Like, an example of that could be, if they're talking about something maybe that's stressful, just say like, "Oh my gosh, I've experienced that too." Okay, here's the work example again. Like, about their boss being a jerk to them. You could say, "Oh my gosh, like I've experienced that too with my boss at XYZ company, and this is what happened, like blah 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 blah," and then pass it back. "How did you deal with it? How are you dealing with that right now?" Then get them talking again. My last step, my fifth step here is just know that not every conversation is meant to last. A short conversation of quality is better than a long one where it's just kind of awkward. So, um when it's just not going and it's not flowing, um tactfully end the conversation. And if you can do that kindly and tactfully, it leaves a really good taste in their mouth and a really good impression, instead of just trying to drag it on and neither of you really want to be there. That's just not a good feeling. So, instead of just dragging it on or just like abruptly leaving, and then you both feel kind of just icky after, um a good way to end is just saying like, "Hey, well, it was so great catching up with you," or, "I'm so glad we got to talk tonight. We'll have to catch up again sometime," or, just tactfully, and then just walk away and end the conversation, because short and sweet is better than just dragging it on. And just to finish up, like, I know I've made another separate video just on this topic, but when you leave a conversation and you start replaying everything in your head, please stop. It's better to be human than to be perfect. And if you were to be perfect, nobody would even want to be around you because they'd be so intimidated by you. So, just if you said something that you feel like was awkward, like, it's okay. It's okay. Just let it go. And if you had like an awkward, for example, sometimes for me, ending a conversation can feel really awkward and hard sometimes. And if it didn't go as smoothly as you planned, that's okay. Just try to learn from that experience and think about what made that awkward, and then try to do better the next time. Use it as a learning opportunity instead of beating yourself up. There's no reason to beat yourself up. They've already forgotten about it, so don't worry. So, I hope that these tips can help you. Please let me know in the comments which one was your favorite, and if you try any of them, just let me know. Um, Good luck, guys. You got this. You are confident and you can talk to anybody. So, Go get them. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.